Wow, it seems I've started almost every review this year with a rant on the new console generation. So why stop now? Not that this one is going to be bad, as the Wii U is the only one out of the so-called Big Three that is still actually a games console. I can't tell you how many times I've been round my friend's house doing these first impressions of Wii U games like this. I say first impressions as yes, I did not beat the final boss, I only got to World 6, but if I had time to go back to his house and finish off the game, I certainly would. This does bring up the question then, Sparrow, why don't you just buy a Wii U for Luna rather than trekking all the way to Ponyville and spending the night at Button Mash's house? To which I respond, I'm not sure. After all the games that have come out for it that I've played with Button that are fairly decent, like Mario 3D World, Pikmin 3, and this game, there is something still saying, don't do it, and I think I know what this might be. Ragging on all strings once again, but Nintendo hinting at Majora's Mask and showing what might be fake but might not be fake screenshots of that special Majora's Mask Wii U is the thing that's stopping me. As I don't want to spend all of that money on a regular Wii U for them to bring out the Majora's Mask one, then have to go through all of the trouble of selling the normal one to buy the Majora's Mask one. So like many others, I'm holding out hope against hope on getting the awesome purple Majora's Mask Wii U and hope it will come to be. However, that is not the time, so for now I'll stick to going round Button Mash's house. But know that if you have to get any of the three of the big consoles this year, get the Wii U, as is at the very least functional over the PS4, which has absolutely no games come out for it still, and it's just there gathering dust like a goddamn doorstop, and the Xbox Done that is just a shit version of a PC. Anyway, on to the real topic at hand here. So, Donkey Kong Frozen Edition. As stated, I did play this at Buttons, and he's the only one with a Wii U, so I did not get to the end. But really, do I even have to, as innovation has not touched DK in years. So, it's the same old story. Big asshole comes to Congo Bongo, everything hits the fan, and you have to travel to the 8 lands to stop the big bad, save Congo Bongo, while getting your bananas back along the way. And this one is no different from its other counterparts. It's like a goddamn checklist at this point. 8 worlds, check. Puzzle pieces in every level, ripping off Banjo-Kazooie and reminding us that there will never be a real Banjo 3, so there will never be a real end to the trilogy like we wanted, and Nintendo thinks it's a sick joke, so they tease us all by putting in puzzle pieces from another IP that the best company in the world used to own. Check. Kong letters in every level, which if you collect all of the letters in a world, you get into the extra special K level at the end, where you'll get a magical MacGuffin that will transport you to World 9 at the very end of the game, although the magical MacGuffin this time is presents rather than orbs, so maybe there is actually a twist to the secret World 9 at the end. Who knows? I would like to find that out. And most important on the checklist, the villain is some git that no one cares about, and why the hell is King K. Rool and the Kremlins not in this game? Check! So Nintendo is happy to keep the DK crew in the status quo, but that's not always a bad thing, as the country games are fairly good at making the same game over and over and manage to still keep you entertained, and DK Country Let It Go certainly does just that. With a very bright and detailed level design and a rocking soundtrack, it makes you happy to play on, if only to see more of the stunning landscape of the island and to see what the next banging tune is. And now there's even more puzzles to solve, and it's not just Donkey Kong and Diddy. Yes, now 2 others have joined you, them being Dixie and Cranky, each with different and unique abilities to help you solve puzzles and beat levels easier ways. I say easier ways because if you have Dixie, you win. She is basically Catsuit Peach. She can jump to the fucking moon, and after the high jump she spins her hair, allowing you to glide, which this can most of the time be broken, as you can glide across vast portions of the game that you don't like. Adding to this, each Kong also has a special power that they can use at a certain time, some not so good and some completely and utterly broken. I'm looking at you, Diddy and Dixie, which when activated, the Kong powers that they particularly have can turn all of the enemies on the screen into either 1-up balloons or banana coins to buy items, and when you combine this with some of the OP items like the banana juice that gives you 15 HP, which due to Diddy's power will cost balls all because it turns every enemy into banana coins, so you might as well have got it for free, makes the game way too easy. So So if you're looking for some challenge, then you have to put restrictions upon yourself not to use the broken items and not to use Dixie, or as stated before, the game will just be a basic walk in the park and you will win in a matter of seconds. Me and my friend actually stopped using Dixie after World 3 when we realised how broken that she can be. So, my final verdict for the Cole Never Bothered DK anyway is a 3 out of 5. Admittedly, it's still a fun game to play with nice colourful graphics and always a great soundtrack. But while it's still fun to play, the repetition is now starting to show on this series. The same story and structure done 3 times over. By World 6 my interest was starting to waver, and might have wavered even sooner if it were not for playing 2-player with button. So Nintendo, before Donkey Kong becomes your new dead horse, why not stop? Take a break from 2D Donkey Kong games and make Donkey Kong 64 too. Not saying there is much wrong with the Country series, except the items and DK powers that can completely break the game now, but staying in the status quo is what is leading to the downfall of AAA. So maybe think on giving your old 3D engines a run and make, oh, I don't know, Sunshine 2, Donkey Kong 64 2, Metroid Prime 4, Majora's Mask port, and get Rare back to make Banjo 3 and Conker's Bad Fur Day 2. But of course you're too busy pushing all your crap that nobody cares about, like Smash Bros. Wii Fit Lady Wank Edition. So the day that even one of those from the list I just mentioned comes to be is the day that you release Mother 3 outside of Japan.